Summer is heating up with all types of movies and blockbusters every week. We're going to break them down one by one. The July movie madness, from The Return of the T-Rex to Superman's New Flight to Marvel's First Family. Who's going to rule the box office? Let's find out. Real Talk is going to be coming at you in like 2 seconds when I hit this button. Peace. Real Talk coming at you, y'all.
Chester.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Capri, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
This is Vicky Judy. Orange is the new black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Frida Parks, and you're listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And nothing less. What's going on, people? Welcome back to Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I am the Director. Be with you for the next 60 minutes or so. Real Talk's brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on youtube.com/IE Network TV. And, of course, the social network itself, Facebook, aka Meta. What's going on, people? We are talking to it's July coming up. We're gonna talk the July movie lineup. It's summer is about to kick off for movie lovers and movie goers, and I, for one, cannot wait. We'll get into a little bit of discussions of the, all of the different movies that's coming out, not just the 3 big blockbusters, but some other ones. We'll even give you some heads up on streaming films that are going to be coming up. So hold on, people. We will we'll get back to you. So first we'll go obviously to our weekend recap, which brought to you by boxofficemojo.com. The box office is a little, not too bad. Not too bad this week. This is for the weekend of June 20th through the 22nd. Number 5. This is the top 5. Number 5, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning made another $6.5 million, bringing that total to worldwide $540 million, $540.7 million. A lot of people know that this movie took a lot of money to make, and people are saying that it really didn't make a profit. They were expecting or hoping to make about $1 billion off this film, and it just don't look like that's going to happen. Number 4 is Lilo and Stitch, the live action version, $9.7 million over the weekend. And speaking of $1 billion, they're on their way to $1 billion at $911 million worldwide. Wow. Number 3 is Elio, which made a total worldwide number of $34 million. It just came out on 20th. So it's at $34 million worldwide right now, $20 million domestic. It made $20 million this week, opening week. Also opening just came out 28 years later, made $30 million at the box office, just released on the 20th as well. And it's already at 60 million worldwide and made an even 30 domestically and an even 30 million international, which is cool. 60 million worldwide. And the number one movie for this weekend is How to Train Your Dragon. 36.6 million. Also, well, opened on the 13th. Is when it opened, June 13th. It is now at $359.7 million after only being out a week, not even a week. Right now it's been 10 days. There you go. A little over a week. So there you have it. That is your weekend recap brought to you by BoxOfficeMojo.com. And you're listening and watching Real Talk with Director and the Jedi Council. I'm the director. And I may have my Jedi Council with me. We'll see. Yeah, they're a little missing in action. But we can hear. Let's talk about the July movie lineup, which is going to start this summer, really kick in the summer. There's a lot going on in July. We'll start from the beginning and go right up July. That's going to be releasing July 2nd for the 4th of July weekend. We'll start with Jurassic World Rebirth. Let's see. Let's share screen. And let's go here. Jurassic World Rebirth. So that's going to be coming out on July 2nd in theaters for 4th of July weekend. And let's see here. Obviously, this is going to be starring Scarlett Johansson, who's new to the franchise, kind of taking over, I guess. Also, what do you call it is in that too? Isn't yeah, he's right there. Mahershala Ali is in it. And yeah, so we're gonna definitely see how that is. I'm thinking, can't wait for that. Already got my tickets. All of the big blockbusters already got my tickets too. Can't wait to check those out. Jurassic World. The funny thing is, I'm gonna read a little bit of the short synopsis or the log line for it, because I've been kind of staying away from it. I don't know a lot about it. I did see one trailer though when I was at the movies. So 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, the planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable, and then to the dinosaurs. So those remaining exist in isolated areas, environments with climates that's more for them, so to speak, right? So yeah, so the trailer was saying basically they're all of the ones that didn't make it in Jurassic Park were kind of put here to, kind of exist because they were a little too violent and too crazy, right? And then it says here, the three most colossal creatures within the tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. So Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, they're a team that's got to go in and help this scientist go in and extract whatever he has to extract, DNA from whichever dinosaur, to make this elixir that he's gonna make for humankind. Yeah, not doing it. Sorry, won't be doing that. But it looks to be gonna be a big one. We'll see. I'm not sure. You guys let me know in the comments. Let us know. And do you think how big? What type of reception do you think this movie's gonna get? The Jurassic World, the Jurassic franchise has pretty much gotten good turnouts. Uh, Pretty much all of them have gotten some decent turnouts. Let me see if I can look up the Jurassic World or the Jurassic Park franchise. Uh, Jurassic World. That's the Rebirth. Let's see. See all the information. Universal Pictures, of course. That one isn't out yet, so we don't have no information on it. But what I do want to see is let's look at the Jurassic Park franchise. See if we can get that. Performance, domestic release. I mean, they pretty much all made some decent, money. Like pretty much all of them did. They're all in the high 600 all-time rankings, lifetime grosses for the franchise. Yeah, so I mean, they're all in the high hundreds of millions of dollars. So I don't really expect this one to not do, you know, bad. I think it's just I think actually it's going to do fairly well, to be honest. So that one, Jurassic World, is set to come out July 2nd, the 4th of July weekend. Now, the question is, will this step on Superman's sales? I've purchased my tickets early for Superman, and I have to say, unlike the Fantastic Four, the Superman tickets there's still a lot of tickets left. I don't know if people are waiting for like someone to see it and it get rated, and maybe they're waiting for that. They're waiting for the critics to go rate it, but I would have thought those tickets would have been almost sold out by now, especially the IMAX tickets. There's plenty of seats at the theater that I go to. The theater I go to is a pretty central location. It's by a mall, and it's an IMAX, and it's really, it's usually a lot of people there for big movies. I mean, Sinners, there was days I couldn't even get seats for Sinners. And that was an IMAX. I couldn't get seats for Sinners. It took me days because I was trying to go back to see it for I think a third time, and here it is. It was like been released like 3 weeks in, and I still couldn't get any seats. So, and Joseph, shout out to the chat room. Joseph Tan holding it down. He says, unless there is another villain for Superman, I can't give you an answer to your discussion of Superman. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is this, from what we understand, and we'll move on. I guess we'll move on to Superman real quick. From what we understand, Superman is supposed to come out July 11th. What we understand, Joseph, it's no like another villain. It's Lex Luthor, pretty much, and and he's fighting like some super beings that Lex Luthor engineers or something like that, genetically engineers. I got Ralph coming in. Welcome back to the show, Ralph. Yeah, I think that Lex Luthor is creating these or somehow manipulating these supervillains that are that Superman's fighting in this movie. So that's the answer. Hopefully that answers. Yeah, Lex Luthor again. Uh Tanner. Yeah, I mean it's funny. A lot of people are kind of complaining about that, but he is fighting some villains that we haven't seen yet. Um there's there's this super villainous or they're not a team called the Authority. Um Ultraman, he's like a superpower. Now Ultraman in the comics, if I'm not mistaken, he was a clone of Superman. Ultraman. He was like clone. He was made from Superman's DNA or something like that. Clone. I don't know if they're going that route with this one, but because Ultraman is in like a cool gear, you can't see his face. You know, he's got a mask on. That so, but he is. So you think about that first trailer where you're like, well, how the hell does Superman get beat up? When you think it's Superman. Now James Gunn did say in an interview that his Superman is not all powerful, meaning like he does if come up against the right person or right being, he could get his butt kicked. You know, he can get hurt. He's not, the invincible Superman with nothing. Now, I'm sure no humans can hurt him, but it's always been that way with Superman. A super powered person. If you know anything about Superman, and I'm talking about from the comic books, yes, we know about the original movie and stuff like that. But even in the original movies, it kind of showed some of the stuff. The Superman is susceptible to mind control, and he's susceptible to magic. Right? Those are the things that. Those are two things. That's why Captain Marvel, aka Shazam, can go toe to toe with Superman because his powers come from magic. So because his powers come from magic, he can thump it out with Superman, and hurt him too. His punches hurt Superman. So I'm not sure what Lex Luthor has constructed these. If Ultraman is made from a clone or DNA of Superman, then of course he's going to be able to hurt Superman. It's like him fighting himself. It's like he's fighting another Kryptonian. So, as we saw in Man of Steel, Zod could hurt him to a degree. I mean, you've never really seen Superman hurt this bad until he fought Doomsday. That was it. Before Doomsday actually killed him, but you never saw him get beat down like this, like from the trailer when you see him, when he's all hurt up and he had to call Crypto to take him back to the fortress. So it seems like Gunn is kind of going with the traditional stuff because, as you know, Zack Snyder went a different direction with the fortress and all of that stuff. He didn't even have no fortress really. His quote unquote fortress of solitude was his ship that he crash landed. That crash landed on the planet. The ship that his father had engineered and put together. That was kind of like where he went and got his his powers and all of that stuff and commune with his father, right? This fortress of solitude, and I kind of agree with a lot of people were saying that it was great for its time, but the fact that it's in the North Pole and this crystallized place, I don't know. It was time for a change at that time. So now Gunn's going back to that. So that's we'll see how that. But Superman is July 11th. I also got word or got information that so apparently this is this in this movie when it takes place, this will be the third year that Superman has revealed himself to the world. So he's in year 3. That's where we pick up in the movie. So no origin story, thank God. This is officially, Lois Lane already knows he's Superman, Clark Kent. They're already dating, and and apparently the um apparently the government is kind of in on it. So the Justice League, it looks like, or the Justice Gang, they're calling them. It looks like they either work for the government or they're funded privately by Maxwell, whatever his name is. I forget the same character that Pedro Pascal played in that train wreck of a movie, Wonder Woman 1985. That same character who has now been recast with James Gunn's brother, who he always casted in the movie. Maxwell Lord, I think his name is. I believe he privately funds this Justice League, the Green Lantern, the Mr. Terrific, and Hawk Girl, or they work for the government. It's one of the two, but they're not like a team with Superman. I think this is his first time meeting them, like face to face. So you gotta imagine this world is like a world that superheroes, heroes, and monsters exist. That's the first phase of James Gunn's new DCU. It's actually called Gods and Monsters. That's the name of that first phase. So you're going to be seeing those type of things. People who gods like Superman, who's considered a god. He's not a god, but he's considered. And there, or some people say he's got godlike abilities. And monsters, you're gonna see different monsters, and you've already seen it in the trailer for this movie. He's fighting like a kaiju, and all of these things. So you're gonna get a chance to see Superman be Superman with his powers and saving people and stopping in the middle of a fight to save a person from, debris falling on them. But yeah, you're not, we'll see. We'll see how it is, man. I think it's gonna be pretty good. So we'll see how that does. And my question to the chat room and everybody else was, do you think Jurassic World is going to step on Superman's potential revenue?
Yep.
You do?
Yep.
It comes out 4th of July weekend. I guess I feel that it will, depending on how good it does or how good it is. If it's a really good film and people are still talking about, because that's only the next week, really, and people really still talking about it, then yeah, it will step on Superman's money a little bit. But when Superman comes out, it's going to be an IMAX, so that might make up for a little bit.
So is Jurassic Park, but I think the secret ingredient in Jurassic Park is that Spielberg is actually involved in this movie, whereas as all the last three didn't have nothing to do with him. Spielberg is he's not at the helm directing it, but he had a lot to do with the screenplay of this movie. So Spielberg is like, nah, we're not doing what we did in the last movie because that's my name on it. And I'm sorry, I don't bet nobody against Spielberg. Well, maybe Nolan. Maybe Nolan, but that's about it.
Well, we know that this is going to be in IMAX, but when Superman comes out, let's say if it's a theater that only has one IMAX screen, they're either going to have to, maybe they'll share it, but I don't think they will. Once Superman comes out, this movie will be bumped off of IMAX, probably put into like the Sony or the Dolby theater and all that other stuff, but it's going to be bumped off of IMAX, and Superman is going to be in IMAX because it was filmed
Yo,
for
I
IMAX. I
don't.
don't know if this was filmed for IMAX. I think they just
You
putting
know
it in
what?
IMAX.
I ain't all that too sure neither, because I mean it could be a theater, and this really depends on this weekend. If F1 is packing them in at the IMAX more than regular theater, they're not dropping F1 for Superman, because it's packing them in there. You
Yeah,
know,
but it's
you got
already it's already like I already bought my tickets. Like I already got my tickets. Superman is definitely in IMAX on when it comes out, which is like the 10th or the but the early screen is the 10th, and the 11th is when it releases. But they, that's already been negotiated, so they're not going to. I don't think they're allowed to make decisions like that if they've already negotiated that this movie is going to premiere at this date in IMAX. They can't just, if I don't care if the other movie is doing good, they can't just decide, no, we're not going to show it in IMAX. We're going to keep this movie in IMAX. They can't do that. They can't do that. So regardless, I've already purchased my ticket for IMAX. So there's no way I'm going to walk into that IMAX theater and Superman's not playing. And it's playing all day.
Well, I'm not going to see Superman, so I guess I'll be listening to you and Ralph talk about it. I
Yeah.
refuse. I refuse. I'm standing by my word. I refuse to give. They did what's his face dirty. I refuse to give James Gunn 1 ounce of my money.
Well, I mean, I
I
look at it like this. Snyder has moved on, so I might as well too. Snyder ain't thinking about it. Snyder ain't talking about it. So
I ain't. I ain't back
and
silent.
so has
I'm doing
Cavill.
it.
Cavill has moved on. He's done Voltron. I think they just finished shooting principal photography for Voltron. You know, he's moved on at this point. And
And
honestly, I'm gonna be honest, it looks good. I can't even lie. It looks like it looks. I'm
it
intrigued.
it it doesn't look good to me. I don't like the stupid dog. No.
Yeah, it to me it still looks. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the crypto dog thing, but the overall storyline looks good to me because at least from what I can see, I like the fact that they, there's no more origin, which is good. This is
about
kind of
time.
like yeah, right. This is kind of like the third year that he's revealed himself to be Superman. That's basically where it takes place, where it picks up. And the Justice League or whatever they call it. So they're not called the Justice League, they call it something else. Justice Gang or something like that. They are not like a team with Superman. I think they either work for the government or they work for Maxwell Lord because he's got, privately funding stuff too. Because I think him and Lex Luthor are probably like rivals, they're both billionaires, whatever. And you got Luthor who has the authority, apparently works for him, and Ultraman he has. So I don't know what they're doing with Ultraman, if it's going to be from the comics. Ultraman was actually a clone of Superman. So, but I don't know if they're doing that because they got his face covered. Maybe that's going to be a reveal that, maybe the mask comes off and it's, David Coruscant under that as well, playing that character. Um, the rumor was that it was, and you knew that wasn't gonna happen because Cavill is done with Warner Bros. They was like, oh yeah, it might be Henry Cavill playing Ultraman. I was like, first of all, he would never do that because he's done with them, and and that would just be dumb. That would actually be a slap in the face. You can't be Superman, but you could be Ultraman. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if they offered him that because they're just that much scumbags. but Warner Brothers. But nah, at this point, I definitely am. And I think what intrigued me more about it was the last trailer that had the stuff that it had in it, and that other trailer, the one right before that, when it was the way I've never seen in all of the Superman interpretations that I've seen. I've never seen him lose his cool like that with Lois Lane. Like she was grilling him, and he was like, I've never seen Clark raise his voice to Lois. Like there, it got heated, and he thought it was going to be all something sweet. Where it's like, oh yeah, I'll let you interview me as Superman. Oh great. And he's all smiling and shit, and she's like, oh okay, so why was you here? Why would you do this? Like she just went in on him. He was like, yo, wait, what's going on here? And then she got him so mad. He was like, they were arguing. It was like what made it relatable is, as a man, no one can push your buttons more than your woman. So that's what made it so relatable. Because it's like, when does Clark Kent ever lose his cool with Lois Lane? And he's like screaming at her, people were gonna die. And she's like grilling him, and he's like, well, I stopped the war. She's like, yeah, maybe. He said, no, not maybe. I did. And she's like, yeah, well, she's just going in on him. Like, did you check with the president before you went over there? Did you do this? Did you do that? Like, straight, he wasn't expecting that. And I thought that was cool. I've never seen Clark put into a predicament like that. Never seen Clark put into a predicament like that with Lois, where he lost his cool, yelling at her. Like she got under his skin, man. Can't nobody get under your skin like your woman. Not just a woman, your woman. They know what buttons to push. So, but back to what we were saying. So Superman, I think, being in IMAX is gonna offset a little bit of money that might have been stepped on because of the fact that the tickets are more money anyway when you buy them. But I am gonna say I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I bought my tickets ahead of time as usual, as a lot of people did. However, unlike Fantastic Four, I mean, them theater seats they're pretty open right now for Superman, even now, and they're only a couple weeks away from its release. So it's like, I don't know if people are waiting for critics or something to rate it and watch it, or maybe waiting for somebody that they know to see it.
I'm very surprised by that.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that too. But yeah, I went. I'm telling you, like, the opening night, there's still seats available in the IMAX. 2 nights after that, like Sunday, I bought another one for like Sunday. That theater is almost empty right now. I know it's still early, but people, I was expecting this thing to sell out. The way everybody was acting all crazy, about it. I was expecting this thing to sell out. Like ASAP. Because Fantastic Four, them seats was flying. Them seats was flying out the window. Like if I go into the app and look for my theater for Fantastic Four, I already got tickets, but the seats are gone, bro. So it just shows you that Warner Brothers still has not earned the trust of the people, especially, of course, you're gonna have Superman is a bunch of fans divided, right? You have your Snyder fans that are, still upset about the Snyderverse being canceled. So they're protesting it. They're planning
need to get
on
over it.
right.
Sorry, they just need to get over it.
Nope.
I look at it like this. I look at it like this. The reason why I'm moving on is because Zack Snyder's moved on.
You ain't
He ain't worrying
exactly. You ain't
about
got
it.
a choice. You ain't got a choice.
Yeah.
It ain't like they
That's it.
said, well, because of public outcry, we're gonna bring the man back. No, y'all can scream
Yeah,
all you
that's
want to.
never
They're not bringing
happening.
the man back. It's not bringing him back.
No, so I don't have to
Enjoy
go.
it for
I don't have to go watch the bullshit.
that's
Right.
true. So like all you Snyder fans that's listening right now, they're saying Warner Brothers need to bring him back. First of all, it's not going to happen. So
That's never
you don't
happening.
have you got two options. Either hey, well, other people are not that Snyder touched as far as his movies. Want Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman. Someone else is going to do it. Either A, you can say I'm not going to watch it because I'm so upset that Warner Brothers and Snyder fell out, or B, watch it and say, hey, this is a different vision, because I'm quite sure that because not for nothing, all of you out there like Superman 2, and that wasn't done by Richard Donner, and you still talk about it all the time. So get over it. Get over it.
Listen, my thing is they lied. They made it seem like they put out Black Adam. They made it seem like it was going to be this whole big thing, and then James Gunn turned around and lied. I would have
Hey,
No,
been.
that wasn't James Gunn. That
that's
wasn't
Warner
James Gunn.
Brothers. That's
That
Warner
was
Brothers,
Warner
bro.
Brothers before Gunn officially took over. James Gunn had his own plans regardless. And Warner Brothers was the one that set that whole situation up. And they didn't actually lie, they just changed their minds. That's really what they did. They didn't
Well, you
lie.
know
They were
what?
gonna go in that direction, but they changed their minds.
What James Gunn should have did was he should have said up front, look, we're not going in that direction. Whatever.
But
They up until the last minute, they let Henry Cavill think that this whole thing was going on, and he was the
that was
last one to get
Gunn.
let go.
That was
I
before
can't
Gunn. I can't agree with that because, James Gunn is a different person. He's not Zack Snyder, and he has his own vision, and that's with anybody. That happens with
No,
every.
I
It's been
don't. I
happening
don't.
forever.
It's not a
It
point of his
happened with.
own
It
vision.
happened with. Snyder came in and changed everything with his vision.
Yeah.
Just like Bryan Singer had his own vision. Like everybody, these characters is just like Batman. These characters, every installment, every few movies, there's gonna be a different vision. People are gonna come in and do it. So the way I look at it is,
Well, I don't
it's
like
just.
James. I don't like James Gunn, and I'm not going to see it. Period. If he
I
changes
mean, yeah,
So what you're
Batman,
saying? Wait a
I
minute. So
don't
what
care.
you're saying? So what you're saying is that you didn't like any of the Guardians of the Galaxies, and you didn't like the Suicide Squad because James Gunn specifically directed the movies, and you feel like he took away your Shiro Snyder. So because of that, I'm not going. Everything else James Gunn has done, I'm not gonna make a night because you feel he lied to you about Superman.
He did.
Absolutely.
He do not.
That's a
He has
bunch of
nothing to do.
crap.
He has
No, it's
nothing to
not a bunch of crap. It's how I feel. You got listen. It's how I feel. If
I
how
mean,
I
yeah,
feel is how I feel.
I
I,
mean,
I,
that's how you feel,
I,
and
Wait a
all.
minute.
There's a lot of people that feel that way about. There's a lot of people that feel the same way as you. I mean, I don't feel that way because, like I said, I can only speak for myself, and I look at it like this. First of all, this whole universe is obviously a new vision and direction, whatever the case may be. I just want to see a good movie. If I go see it and it's crap, I'm gonna scream to the rooftops that is crap. But if I go see it and it's good, I'm gonna say that it's good. It's just that plain and simple.
This is my I got two comments. One, Kev, I'm not sitting there saying that your opinion is crap. I think the foundation for it is crap because what if Snyder would have quit? Would any of y'all be having the same thing? And if you say no, I wouldn't feel the same. Is it because Snyder left on his own terms, and now I could accept that? So wouldn't you kind of sort of feel like, well, Snyder let us down because he quit before the job was finished?
One, I didn't like what the Guardians of the Galaxy has nothing to do with Marvel and DC. Is two separate things.
That's not what I said. That's what that no. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. What I said was, if Snyder had quit, quit? If he quit Warner Brothers, right? would you feel the same way about James Gunn? Because would it be, if you said no, I wouldn't feel the same way? Is it because Snyder left on his own terms and he wasn't, and Warner Bros. Didn't dismiss him? However, if he did actually quit, couldn't you sit there and feel the same way? Say, well, Snyder let us all down because you left and the job wasn't finished. You never gave me a Superman 2. You never really delved deeper into the Justice League. You didn't do any of the stuff. So now I still feel the same kind of way.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly how I feel. If he would have did that, I would have definitely been very disappointed. I would have understood because of his situation. Because remember, the key part of his whole situation was his daughter dying.
Mhm.
So that was a full key factor of that. So he got to come back and do the Snyderverse, even though they still tried to do him dirty and not give him a theatrical release and just release it on TV, which I thought was some BS. But it is what it is. I
I
just I
mean,
just don't like.
I can't.
that was only from the grace of the
Warner
Snyder
Brothers.
fans, and well, I mean, the grace of Warner Brothers, but based on the release, the Snyder cut, and all of that, they felt,
Yeah, yeah, no,
after
I
years
exactly.
of,
I understand that. I
but
was a part of
what the
that, and
Snyder
you were
fan,
just
what the Snyder
But no,
fans
but
gonna have to understand, or not have to understand, but what they're gonna have to
try
deal with
to
regardless
deal.
is the fact that, number one, you
He
know,
gone.
when it comes to context, James Gunn did not, he is not the one that per se fired Henry Cavill. James Gunn had his own thing set up. He had his own vision set up from day one. So he was already, Warner Brothers had already cut the ties and everything with Cavill, and that was the regime before he officially came in. And even if it wasn't, which it was, but even if it wasn't, he had his vision for Superman. So I mean, every filmmaker has their right
I don't and
to
I don't
fulfill
like
their
and I
vision
don't
by
like
bringing in
what
the people.
and I don't like
No,
what I
I'm not
am
telling
seeing.
right. I'm
Then,
not
then, let-
telling you this to
wait a
try to
minute.
make you like
Then
it.
I
I'm
got.
just saying, as
Wait a
far
minute.
as
I
I'm
got a
speaking
better
to the other
question.
Snyder fans,
Wait a minute.
that
Wait a minute. But I got a better question for that. Since you say I don't like it, since Warner Brothers and not Guns responsible, why not just stop watching anything that Warner Brothers puts out? Because then you're making it. Then you're saying something.
Because Matt Reeves' Batman was dope.
Exactly. That's my entire point. If you're placing the blame on someone that had nothing really to do with it, the person that was responsible
I
was
don't
the one
listen.
that
I
run
don't.
for
The
Warner
bottom
Brothers.
line. The bottom line is I don't like James Gunn. I didn't like what he did with the first Suicide Squad. The second
he didn't
Suicide
do this
Squad was okay.
Suicide
He
Squad.
didn't do the first Suicide
Well, I
Squad.
mean the second Suicide Squad was okay. It was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay. I didn't like the big eye thing. That was dope.
Please.
But
The second one is 90 times better than
I
the
I
first one.
I,
I'm
I
sorry. I can't. I ain't gonna lie. The second one was way better than the first one.
yeah, the second one was definitely way better than the first one. But I don't care for what he's doing. I don't care for what he's doing. What I wish he would have did was, if he was going to do anything, what he should have did was he should have continued on, or did some kind of twist on what him and his brother did with Brightburn. If they would have did that, I'd have been all in.
Well, I
But
mean,
even with that,
even though he had his vision, so you talk about, and this is just a question. You talk about you don't like the way they did Cavill. So what if he would have kept James? What if he would have kept Cavill and still did this version of Superman?
Would you been overjoyed?
no, because I don't like what I'm seeing with the super dog and all the mishmash of all the stuff that's this just being stacked on and stacked on and stacked on. Honestly,
I
I don't think
think
the movie's gonna do well.
I think it's gonna do so.
I think it'll do good, but I mean I don't know how great it's because of where it's coming out. But like I said, I was at first sight, I was the same way, and then I looked at, I did some research and him fighting these things that are happening. Like I said, you have. Then I found out that okay, we're in basically year 3 of Superman revealed himself to the world. But you're in a world. Remember the first when James Gunn said the first phase of his new DCU is called Gods and Monsters, and he is putting you. He's rewriting. He's rebuilding the world. Superman is in a world where superheroes exist
already, right?
And things like that already exist. The Justice League, those people, they already exist. Like they're not, but they don't work with him. They like work for the government or something like that. So like you're in a world now that super powered people or metahumans, he says, have existed for years before Superman even got there. And so he's coming from that perspective. And of course, the reason why you see him fighting a kaiju in the trailer, I mean, like I said, the phase is called Gods and Monsters. Right?
Monsters.
So you're gonna see stuff like that, and it looks like most of the stuff that's happening is Lex Luthor's behind it. Ultraman, the Authority, all of them. I'm interested in seeing it. I want to see. What's funny is the chemistry between what's the guy they got playing Lex Luthor? What's his name? Who played Beast?
Kelsey Grammer. Not Kelsey Grammer. I know the guy. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Him. He was up for Superman. He originally
he was
auditioned for Superman.
I definitely would have.
He ends up getting Lex Luthor, which is funny because the chemistry between him and Corey Sweat is like he was able to. I saw him in the interview. He's like, I was able to conjure up those feelings and really go, really spit some fire at him.
Oh, because he didn't get to play Superman.
Because he got beat out of Superman.
So he can get this.
I thought that was hilarious. He was like, "Yo," he's like, "Yeah," because I was originally auditioned to play Superman, and I was being considered, and he was like, and then David got it, and he did a fabulous job. He's like, but I was able to conjure up those feelings. I'm like,
that's hilarious.
That's hilarious. I said, yo, he ain't playing.
And actually, I got another question. This because I was listening to what Kev said, and this is for you, both you and Wes. Why are y'all tripping about the dog? Because I'm not mistaken, as long as we've been doing this show, you're always talking about the source material. So is Crypto part of the source material or not?
Yes. He
So why are you tripping about it?
Well,
I know because I know.
He's
Wes.
He's part of source material, but I never liked it from when it's just like there's a lot of people that's part of source material that I just don't like them. It's just like this Green Lantern that they have, what's this, Kyle Rayner? Not a Kyle Rayner, what's his name? Whatever his name is. This guy with the stupid bowl cut. I never liked I never liked that Green Lantern. I was like,
they keep skipping over the first two.
Well, that's because they're doing the show Lanterns.
Yeah, Lanterns.
They're doing the show with that dude. I forget his name. The black dude with the light eyes who played the voice of Mufasa in the Mufasa movie.
And for God's sake, he can't. That guy. That guy cannot be James. No, stop. No.
He's not supposed to be James Earl Jones. He was a young version.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not cool with the idea of him even being James Bond. He don't know. He don't.
Oh, Idris Elba. I mean, James and Idris.
No. The guy. That guy who's I can't think of his name right now.
That guy, right? Dude. That we're talking about, that was in Brigadoon. No, he cannot be.
Oh no, that's the guy from Bridgerton. They want him to be Bond. The black guy?
Yeah, nah, bro.
But that's not
Nah.
confirmed. He just.
But it's a it's part of
It's just
the cipher last week.
It's something
that
being
he,
thrown out. It's
I'm
being
saying
thrown
it.
out
Nah,
there.
no. He don't look nothing like no secret agent. He looks like a.
What does that mean? He doesn't look like a secret agent.
He doesn't look tough. He doesn't look intimidating.
What are you even talking about?
No.
You know what? I listen. I listen.
You lost me there, Ralph. You lost me.
I listen. I agree. I agree with Ralph. You know, he just doesn't. He doesn't look like he doesn't look like a secret agent.
He don't look tough.
You know what? Now you saying you don't look tough. You know what got him that even rumors of that is that Rebel Ridge movie that did crazy on Netflix.
That's Netflix.
No, but it doesn't matter if it's Netflix.
Rebel Ridge or Rebel Moon?
Rebel Ridge. I know what he's talking about.
That was
but look, everything new
like
that comes on
thing.
But everything new that comes on Netflix, the first month it's out does super well, and then it just falls off. Like
no. That movie didn't fall off, bro. That movie was big when it came out. Like everybody was talking about it.
Every last movie that's original on Netflix.
That's not true.
I gotta watch that tonight. It's called Rebel Ridge.
How many years later, and people are still talking about Bird Box? How many
because Bird Box was
good.
Different. It was original.
It was good.
People talk about Bird Box because it was original. It was good.
Right. And look at that in that movie. And look at that movie that came out with The Rock with him and Ryan Reynolds. For the first month it came out.
No more, yeah.
But that's my point. For the first month it
came out. But that movie wasn't that good.
Sorry,
that
man.
movie wasn't that good.
That's not Bond. That's not Bond. Bond should not be walking around with his eyebrows arched. Bond should not be walking around with his eyebrows shaved or curved or whatever you want to call it. No.
I ain't saying
he should not look like
he should not be looking like he got Noxzema on his face. No.
Well, Ralph, on that, you're funny because I use Noxzema.
No.
But you know what? The one thing I do gotta say, Ralph. Most of the Bonds did have an arch eyebrow because Sean Connery when he raised up,
not arch, no, not arch. He looks like he gets his eyebrows shaved. You know, like they gotta look.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. His eyebrows.
I don't know what you mean by look tough because I mean, what do you mean by look tough? What
he doesn't.
He was tough in that movie, Rebel Ridge.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
You know, I gotta see Rebel Ridge first before I say anything.
I need to see it too because I'm saying is right now from what I've seen of him.
Bro. So you haven't even seen it, and you talking about it?
I just seen
once again.
I just been seeing the picture going around about this guy. I mean, I said, I know him. He was. I know he was the guy that was in Brigadoon. I know that, and I know he was the voice of Mustafa. But in hindsight, 2020, maybe it's the picture they've been floating around of him. He does not look like he could be a secret agent. There's nothing. It doesn't look like the guy is even somewhat.
If you could play a military, you could play a secret agent. This guy was a military guy in Rebel Ridge, and he was very believable as a military guy.
I don't want James. I don't want James Bond to have like shaved eyebrows, and looking like
eyebrows.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. What are you talking
about? Wait, Ralph.
Are you looking at a picture of him? Like, what are you looking
I'm looking at the picture that's been floating around all week with him in the tuxedo. This picture been floating around all week of him in a tuxedo, and the guy looked like he got shaved eyebrows on his head. I'm sorry.
Ralph, I will say this, and I think I'm right when I say this. Bond is a well-kept guy, so I think he would get he does get his nails done, his feet done, and he plucks his nose hairs, and he gets facials. And he stay getting massages.
So he wears a suit. Everything he does, I mean, come on, bro. Look at all of the James Bonds throughout the years. The only rough-looking James Bond was the latest one. Everyone else,
Daniel Craig was the only one. Yeah, Daniel Craig was the only one that was walking around with a 5 o'clock shadow every 5 minutes.
Right.
Like,
Nah,
what
Timothy
you
Dalton.
gonna say?
The only James Bond who looked like that. Every other one of them looked clean cut.
Clean cut.
Every single one of
Yeah,
them. And
never.
Dalton looked like a goddamn villain.
Yeah, he did.
Dalton looked crazy.
Dalton looked tough.
His
Dalton
his
looked tough.
eyes,
He didn't look tough. He looked evil.
yeah, he looked like he was not to be played with. He just looked like he would kill you. Just from the offset, he wouldn't question you or nothing. Just like, okay, you're the enemy. Stab, stab, stab. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
James Bond has always been a clean cut guy.
I ain't never seen him that. I ain't never seen Bond looking that.
It wasn't until Daniel Craig that he even looked intimidating. James Bond never looked intimidating.
No, go back to Daniel Craig and listen. I mean, Timothy Dalton. Go back to Timothy Dalton. Because Timothy Dalton was when they killed this man.
Intimidated because he looked evil. But I
mean, when they killed this man, it was over.
He was pissed. He was pissed.
Roger Moore never looked intimidating. Come on.
Roger Moore was just listen.
In great shape.
Listen, Roger Moore. Listen. Roger Moore had 3 characters. He was tall, he was smooth, and he'll smack a bit.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is Roger Moore didn't look intimidating. Like if you stand all of the James Bonds up against each other, obviously Daniel Craig looks like the most intimidating one because he looked like
Timothy Dalton, then Sean Connery. Oh, and then John Lazenby. Lazenby was.
I'm saying. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He don't look.
This is one picture, Ralph. You're looking at one picture of him. And
I want him to be Jon Stewart. I would love for him to be Jon Stewart.
He is Jon Stewart. He's
he
Jon
is?
Stewart
Okay.
In the Lanterns show.
Okay, all right, because he fits that. He fits that bill.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he fits that bill.
Yeah, I don't know. Put the picture back.
Bond.
Put the picture back again.
Yeah, I can't see him saying Bond, James Bond.
Look at him.
Wait a minute, I got different pictures.
He looks intimidating here.
Oh,
He's standing there looking the dude.
He just looks stacked. He's tall. What is he? 6? What is he? Is he 6? What are you like 6'1"?
Probably something
like that.
Something like that. But I'm just saying. You know
I
just
like
this is from Rebel Ridge or whatever. So yeah, you're gonna see different pictures of him. He gonna look different in different pictures. He's not clean shaven here. You know what I'm saying?
Like there you go. So, look at him.
In different pictures, you're gonna see him in different.
You know what it is. You know what it is, Ralph. I know what's throwing you off. It's not the eyebrows. It's the shape of his eyes, and it's the color of his eyes. This kind of like makes you be like, huh?
We ain't accepted no light skin slander on this show.
I don't know, man.
We're not doing no light skin slander on this show. Sorry. That's right.
I don't know, man. It's just like
no light skin slander will be tolerated.
Oh my God, yo! I didn't even say nothing about him being light skinned. I just said the shape of his eyes.
I got the
green eyes.
I know what you were saying.
Oh my God!
Oh man, that's
dark skinned niggas.
That's deep.
Oh, yo, he called it dark skinned niggas. Oh, yo, Facebook, please. I mean, YouTube, don't demonetize us for him calling me.
Wow, I don't know what to say, man. I really don't know what to say.
Oh my God! Oh man!
No, seriously. With all seriousness, y'all need to check out Rebel Ridge. It was decent. I'm not. To me, it's the same type of films. It's almost like the same film that Michael B. Jordan did over there on Prime. You know, it was cool
Oh,
though.
that was. Oh yeah, that was. Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know
it
if
was,
this
you
one's
know,
gonna show
he
too.
was definitely convincing in it. He did his job. He shedded the Bridgington, you
Oh
know,
wait, that's
voice.
the one. Wait, Wes. Is that the one where he came home and he had to get money for his brother's bail?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw the
yeah. I
trailer
saw
for
that.
it.
Yeah. I saw that. No, I did watch that. I did watch it. I did watch it. And yeah, he was good in that. He was good in that.
Yeah,
He,
it was.
he was good in that. But Ralph, I can understand what you're saying. The shape of his eyes, the
Yeah,
green,
it
you
just
know,
don't nah.
Green
and
eyes,
and and and, and West and listen, just because you said
gonna
that,
be a Lakers fan, right? He definitely a Lakers.
Screwface was my complexion, and he had green eyes. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
Wow.
Good face.
I wasn't trying to do a
Actually,
light skin versus
to
dark
me, he got
skin,
it.
but
Actually, I think he was perfect for the Lion King. Cause nigga kind of looked like a
yeah,
Mufasa.
he does. Yeah,
Look
he
at
does.
lion. Look at his eyes.
He,
Look
he
at that
looked
lip
like
right there.
Scar.
Yeah,
He
he
looked
looked
like
like Scar. That's what he looked like. He looked like Scar.
wow.
Look at that.
yeah, look at him. See, now he look like that dude that makes you cross the street when you walking in Brooklyn.
Now. With
I
that being
would
said,
love to
now,
see. I was
now,
about to say
now,
that.
if
I would
he
love to see him in like a movie, like how what's my man name? Michael Ealy, like some crazy man stuff. You know what I mean?
Yo,
now,
he fits that profile.
not for nothing, but if he was playing James Bond's villain in that, I might roll with that
Yeah,
one. You know,
that I can
I
see.
mean,
That
I don't think he. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, people throw propaganda around to get conversation, get likes,
is
whatever.
going.
I don't think he's not gonna really be considered for James Bond. Because first of all, they're not gonna make any black guy James Bond. If they're not gonna make Idris Elba James Bond, they're not making any black guy James Bond.
well, no, the only knock against Idris Elba is simply because of his age.
He's too
This guy at
old
least
now.
yeah, this guy means he's only 31 years old, so he's right in the time frame
Yeah,
where you say,
he can
okay,
get
I
thrown.
want my James
He
Bond.
can get thrown down. He can get thrown down some steps.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you know, they
and
want
not
to
and
get
not
the
have to have
younger
a walker or
guys.
use Ben Gay. I mean, yeah, he could do that, right?
Yo, shut up! I use a walker. God damn it!
Once again,
But you
though,
know what I'm saying?
but once again, even with that being said, other until Daniel Craig, everybody who played James Bond, they weren't old, but they weren't super young either. When they
Sean
But
Connery was young.
he was
Sean
young when he
first
Connery,
started
started,
playing.
yeah.
That's
yeah,
what
when
I'm
he
saying.
started, yeah.
Idris Elba starting it. He's pushing 50. That's not the age to be
He
starting
don't look
playing James
50.
Bond.
That's all that matters.
But he's still pushing. But he's
That's
still
just like
pushing 50.
that's just like saying uh
I can
Hugh
sit there and say
Jackman. That's saying
even
Hugh Jackman too old to play. Yeah, everyone's saying he is
no.
technically too old to
Different.
play
That's a different
Wolverine, but
story. That's a
he
different
don't look
story.
his age.
No. That's a
Well,
different story that's different
but I'll tell you
because
this
when he
much.
started Wolverine, he was young. He's graced as Wolverine. He's not
Yeah.
starting Wolverine at his
Well,
current age now. That's a different
well,
story.
I'll put it like this. I'll tell you this much. A lot of these actors that used to do their own stunts, they waking up in the morning and stuff ain't right. Because I heard a couple of them say it oh yeah, yeah, thank you, yeah, I look good for my age, but I don't feel like it because sometimes I'll be waking up out of bed in the morning and you move the wrong way. Y'all know once you hit 35, that's when that shit start kicking in.
I don't think. I mean, yeah, I just think it's right now. It's the talk to do that. I think at the end, I'm be honest with you. You know, they're looking at who I saw that they are heavily looking at. At one point, they were looking at Cavill, but I don't think they're gonna get Cavill. But
He's wrong too. He's too damn big.
They were looking
No,
at
Cavill is what. Yeah, I agree. Listen, I would love Cavill, but
I do too, but he's simply just too big. You gotta kind of like blend in, and I mean the guy's like 6'4", a good 235. He's
not
big as shit.
6'4". He's 6'1". He's not 6'4".
All right,
Well,
2
listen.
inches.
I feel like he's wide enough to make himself look on film. He looks like he's 6'4". You know what that's like, Wes? You know what that's like, Wes? That's like getting Jack Reacher to be James Bond.
That guy who plays Jack Reacher.
Yeah, exactly. That guy, he's as a secret agent. You have to put in there. He stands out too much. Him. When they were talking about maybe Dwayne Johnson, I was like, no, he stands out. He's too damn big. He stands out. You gotta blend in. That's no one. I think that's one reason why Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt, Matt Damon as Jason Bourne, they look like regular guys that you couldn't tell was some secret agent. But they.
I'm just saying they were talking to him, and then now the last person I heard that they were heavily looking at was damn, what's his name?
Aaron Johnson. I was like, yeah,
Aaron
I like
Taylor
that.
Johnson.
I like that
Aaron
pick.
Taylor Johnson. Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. What is he playing?
That's
Kick-Ass.
that's
Kick-Ass.
I mean, yeah. Well, he was Kick-Ass when he was younger. He was Quicksilver,
Craven.
and he was Craven. Yeah.
Yeah,
Godzilla.
I actually liked him as Craven.
And I loved him in the Bullet Train.
Oh my God, yes. Yo, he was he was dope in the Bullet Train.
Yeah,
you know what? You know what? Now that you mentioned Bullet Train,
yeah,
I could see that.
Oh, that makes you think. That's just like when I first heard about Ben Affleck becoming Batman, right? I didn't say nothing. I didn't say yes or no, but I didn't know what it was going to become. But then I saw him in the Accountant, and I was like, oh. I was like,
listen, I was on board from jump. Him and Gail Gadot. I was on board from jump.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Gail Gadot, she beefed up significantly. If you look at her from Fast and the Furious and look at her in Wonder Woman, I'm like, yo,
yeah.
But I was not on board with Ben Affleck because what I said, I didn't say he wasn't. I said two things. I thought he was too old, and this is the guy that does crap like Jiggly and all of the stuff. I said if he was directing it, it would have been cool. But acting, I was like, I'm not sure. But my mind certainly got changed when I saw the movie. I was like, oh, okay. He looked intimidating as Batman, kind of like. I was kind of suave-ish as Bruce Wayne, but as Batman, he was downright intimidating. But it's like Robert Pattinson. I mean,
Robert Pattinson is Batman.
Batman was outright scary. He was terrifying. He was like, "Yo, bro, just take my money. I don't want that smoke. I don't want that smoke."
And he don't. And see, and that's the one thing that people keep forgetting about him with.
It's like perfect because he was supposed to be an older Batman. He wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I am sick and tired of origin stories. My God,
I'm tired of everybody being young. I'm tired of this teenagers.
A little bit of Ben Affleck's Batman's origin, and he's older Batman. You know, he just showed the
But I like the way they did it, though. They did it, but they did. But
he did it because he did it just like the comics. That's why I like.
Yeah. And they did that on purpose, just for fan service, just to show, especially that shot with the pearls in the gun. It's just
you guys like, oh, it's comic book accurate now. The other three descriptions wasn't comic book accurate, but now
no. Not saying that, Ralph. It was just the way he. It was the way he. It was the way he did it. It was the way he did it that made it nice.
Favorite Batman movies, the kill scene, wasn't comic accurate at all, but I just loved the movie, and that was the one with Michael Keaton. And Joker did not kill his parents.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that was a cool little twist that they put in there for the for the story. But the whole point of Batman being Batman, he never finds satisfaction because he never gets the person that killed his parents. That's the point.
That's the point.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
So did they ever catch in the comic books? Did they ever catch the person that killed his parents, or ever say who was the person that killed his parents?
No, I don't.
No.
Think so. He was just a random guy from from
They just and they made it seem like in all the movies they kind of alluded to the Joker having a piece, a
yeah,
part of his parents dying, but really it was just some random robbery, and they
just
got
thug. And I think if I remember correctly, somewhere in one of the comics, it turned out that you know he may not have got the exact person, but that person had worked for like Falcone or somebody like that, or
somebody like that. Yeah,
because because they had a storyline where Thomas Wayne was in a lot of bullshit. He was into a lot of stuff behind.
that's where Matt Reeves Batman came from. They took it from that storyline.
That's what they took from that storyline. That Thomas Wayne was he was he
He
wasn't
was
a bad
involved,
guy, but he was in
but
bed
he
with bad guys,
guys, yeah,
and and it just kind of like happened that way. But I mean, the whole point of Batman, because think about it, if Batman would have caught the person that
He would
killed
have
his
killed him.
parents, he might have stopped. He might have stopped being Batman. Yeah,
he either would have stopped being Batman or he would have started killing people.
right. He
He'd
would
be
have.
like, okay, I got this guy. All right, now Joker can die. Robin, you want to act up? Oh, you're Nightwing now. Guess what? You can
So
die.
that's part of the whole persona of Batman. But yeah, no, that's right. I like the fact that it was comic accurate because there's nothing wrong with doing
That's what
that.
I said. Exactly. All you comic guys had your orgasm. Like, oh my god, oh
Yep.
my god, oh my god.
Sorry, it's
Sheldon.
called a joygasm. Thank you.
Nah,
Yeah, yeah,
orgasm. Like, oh,
yeah. And you know what? And you know what I liked about it too, Ralph. I liked the way they did it because they didn't really concentrate on his, like, they didn't go through the whole shabazz of steps of, like, showing the relationship between him and his dad
Nah,
and
they
him
had
and his mom.
to
They
show
just
it.
they just did those
They
cuts
did
and the
those,
way it was edited.
and they had to show it because that was part of the story. Because
Yeah, because of
that
Martha.
right, that night was when Bruce Wayne lost his humanity. He lost his humanity that night and became Batman. And from that point on, and when he realized that Superman, he didn't know that Superman was raised on this planet by humans. And that's why the the line, he said the line of he's more human than I am. He's
I am. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? He said that because, he knows that humans, when he was raised by humans that has affection for him, and he has affection for this person. He didn't know that. He
And
just
how many
alien.
Yeah, and how many times they have to make that comment? Even Superman had to tell the general, like, listen, I
I'm as
don't get it.
as it gets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm from Kansas. It doesn't get more
Don't get no
no
more
more
American.
American than me.
He's like, I was raised on a farm in Kansas. So I mean, so they had to show it because of the Martha part. Because a lot of people don't know, or if they did know, they didn't remember that they do have the same. That wasn't made up by Zack Snyder. They both of their mother's
That's
name is
comic
Martha.
accurate. Yeah,
I never realized. I never really realized
Yeah,
that both their moms
yeah,
were named
Martha
Martha.
Kent and Martha Wayne. Yeah. Oh, so, um, and the funny thing is, people tried to make fun of it, but Zach was the only one who dug deep enough to realize
to
that. It was like, yo,
to
let's
make
take it.
and it was dope the way he did it because he kept throwing the hints. He kept smacking you in the face with the hints,
Yeah,
and
Mark.
and nobody got it. And so many people talk crap
Even
about it.
right at the beginning, when he said Martha, he
Yeah,
saw his father yelling, saying Martha as they were both,
Martha.
and
Hmm.
it was a perfect setup. So I understand why he did. I was like, let's not see no more origins, but I understand why he put that in there because it's part of his story. It's part of the overall arc of his character in that movie because he went from wanting to kill Superman, thinking he's just alien that just doesn't care. He still don't know what his reasons are for even being here, and he's causing trouble because now Zod is effing everything up. He went from that,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm glad that dude is dead.
right. He went from that to okay, wait a minute. I didn't realize that this man has a Earth mother that was raised him, and he's trying to save her. He's got compassion for her, and that it all clicked at that moment.
And what's funny about that is that's what clicked and opened up the humanity in Batman.
Yep, and
Because
that's what he
remember the
said.
persona
Went
as
on.
Bruce Wayne, as Bruce Wayne, he's charitable. He's totally a humanitarian as Bruce Wayne. But as
But
soon
it's
as he
really
turns to
more to keep
Batman,
up. It's really more to keep up appearances. You know,
yeah,
like Batman is that's who he is. Bruce Wayne
yeah,
mask. Bruce
it's
Wayne
all.
is who that's who he pretends to be.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne, So, but that's his thing to keep up appearances. But I'll say this before we end the show. Um, but I want to talk about Fantastic Four. So, do you think overall, with Fantastic Four coming out about a week and a half after Superman, Fantastic Four has already proven how much money they're gonna not how much, but
Let me
as you
tell you something.
they're gonna make a lot of money.
I would be surprised if Fantastic Four's first week is less than 180. I would be very surprised.
It's not gonna come nowhere close to 180. Nowhere.
I'm talking about I'm talking about worldwide and
Wow.
domestic.
Mhm.
I'm talking worldwide and domestic. I'd be very
I
surprised.
can,
The
I can see
domestic is probably going to do at least 80 or 90. It has to do at least 80 or 90.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially if you put IMAX into play and RPX and 4DX
Y'all gotta
and
look. Wait. I gotta be honest. You guys have got to stop putting this if it's in IMAX. And every theater doesn't have IMAX or 4X or everything else. They don't have it, right?
no, but it's not.
Wait. You guys happen to live in areas where you can find a movie theater that has the 4X or IMAX. The movie theater that was right down the street from me doesn't have an well, it's gone now, but when it was there, it didn't have an IMAX in it. I gotta go 40 minutes to go to an IMAX theater. I'm not traveling 40 minutes.
No,
I'm not
I
It
traveling.
doesn't
understand,
matter that it's just
but
for now. The early here's the early early box office projections based on this pre-sales and things of that nature. Right now, they said it suggests the opening weekend between 125 and 155 million
well, there you
domestic.
go.
Wait
There
a
you
minute.
go.
So once again,
That's the
so
box office projections based on the pre-sales and things of that nature.
I'm gonna say this, whoop de do, because they're predicting that Superman, when it comes out in 3 weeks, it's gonna make more money than any
They're
movie
not
in
predicting
the
that
D.
now. That's a prediction not based on facts because they were just saying that before the movie even went on sale. As you noticed, they ain't saying it now because
No,
the
because
movie has
now it's
been on
going.
sale.
That's right, because it's going down to, like, it's saying it's going to open maybe about 130. I think they said like 130, something like that.
I think
Which would be, but originally they were saying it was going to open more than any movie in the DC universe. The biggest opener is Batman vs Superman, like 170 something million. They were saying it's going to be bigger than that. Like, no, it's not.
hell
No, it's
no,
not.
hell no, hell no.
All I'm saying to you is, and whether or not they fall in that range or not, which I believe they will, this prediction is more so rooted in fact than just guessing because they're seeing the pre-sales of the movie. Right, the pre-sales of the movie is already out sold Superman. That's what I said at the top of the show. I was like, I'm surprised that, and even Kev said, who has no plans to seeing it. Even he was surprised that they didn't have, that I was just saying, I don't know, I don't have all the numbers, but the reason why they're not speaking about it is because the numbers aren't what they wanted to
what they
be.
thought to
But
be
aren't
exactly.
as much as Fantastic Four, not yet.
Because well, you know why? And it's because they didn't project right. They didn't look at what was being released at the same time. They didn't look at
Right. Superman is in between Jurassic World and Fantastic Four. So
and I'm telling you, I
there's
prefer
only
to
not
see
even
Jurassic.
not even 2 weeks separating the two movies from that movie. So
And
you're
what else is in the box office right now that it's going to be fighting against?
right now you still got what was the one that just came out? I said it at the top of the show. And it's doing some numbers right now too. Let me see. I gotta go back to the beginning there. Oh yeah. What you call it? 28 years later is out.
Oh sugar, I gotta go to the
That's
movies.
gonna die. That's gonna die
How
quick.
to train your how to train your dragon
Dragon,
is
that's gonna be killing it.
out, and
That's gonna be bodying.
already at 360 million. It's only been
Yeah.
out since June 13th.
Yeah,
So
28 years later is gonna die. It's gonna die quick. That and Elio are gonna die quick. Right? You see how quick Ballerina is falling. You see how fast Karate Kid Legends is falling. They're going to fall quick. This week you got F1. We go into F1, then go into Jurassic World.
I think
Then go
F1
into
is gonna be a
Superman.
sleeper. I think
I do.
F1 is gonna be a sleeper.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a word of mouth thing. I think the first week is not going to do so well, and then after the first week, by the second week, word of mouth is going to be like Sinners. It's going to be a word of mouth thing, and F1 is going to pick up because I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that. I'm
Yeah.
really
They
looking
saying
forward
that's
to
they
that.
saying that's Top Gun in the race car. So yeah, that's go.
I won't go all about that now.
That's
Hey,
that's
listen,
even
if you ever watch, if you ever,
you kind of sort of got to because the guy that directed Top Gun directed the movie, so it was Top
That
Gun in the
don't
race
mean
car.
nothing. That don't mean anything.
listen, if you listen, I gotta say this, and the only reason why I'm gonna agree with Ralph on this is because one, I watch Formula One racing, and let me tell you something. I am looking forward because now if you ever watch Formula One racing, they got the cameras in the car now. You can see from different perspectives. So now I want to see what they're going to do with. I think this movie is going to be better. It's going to do a whole lot better than Gran Turismo did. And Gran Turismo
No
was a
doubt,
pretty good movie.
no doubt.
Yeah,
And
it's
Gran
good.
Turismo was a pretty good movie. But I think this one is going to
I'm not
be.
denying the box office numbers is gonna do. I'm just gonna see what if it's gonna actually be a good movie. That still has to be, just because someone says it's gonna be Top Gun in a race car, don't mean it's gonna be a great movie.
Remember, they've
You know what I mean?
already screened it. I got started hearing that after the screening. They've already done the screening in New York City. They already that's when they started saying this is like Top Gun in a race car. Like that's really, when you got the
Yeah,
camera in the car. No, it's a different thing when the camera is pointing towards the driver.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. In
this
the
is
car.
saying what I'm getting is they're
There'll
saying
be
this is
some
pointed
more
away
groundbreaking
over
type
the driver's head where you can actually see him making the turns and stuff. That's a
well,
whole nother.
they already have that in Formula One in real life. Like they have the cameras in the car and on the car. Like there are cameras
Mhm.
mounted almost all over the car, where you can see from almost every perspective. I mean, it's just
Huh?
Formula One racing and GT motorcycle racing is two of my favorite sports. I,
Yeah.
I, I, I love watching them. I think this movie is going to be really good, and it's
Yeah.
gonna.
I'm on
And
my
They're predicting that on the low end domestic to be around 157 box
mm,
office on the low end,
well,
and
yeah,
opening
I got it.
weekend or overall? Open weekend or overall?
overall, what's this
Overall?
domestic total low end 157 to 165. Domestic total high end would be 240 to 250. That's
I
what they
think
said.
it's gonna be better.
Opening weekend, they're predicting opening weekend would be on the low end
I think about
56
60.
59 million.
Yeah,
Low end. on the high end, 72 to 75 million opening weekend.
I say it's going to do about 60, and I think it's going to probably pick. I think it's probably going to pick up this the second weekend.
It'll pick up. Not, it's a good movie. It'll pick up because one thing.
Well, I think what F1 is going to be, it's going to be the movie that just plays out over the summer. Like every once in a while, you get that one movie that just keeps playing and playing and playing.
Like kind of how the Matrix did when it came out.
Exactly, because that's why we go to movies to, as someone said on the show, we turn our brains off, and we want to see fast cars, we want to see big ass dinosaurs, we want to see somebody flying through the air, we want to see that kind of stuff. So a lot of the other things that are coming out during the summer, like look, Joseph in here talking about the reboot, the remake, or whatever you want to call it. I Know What You Did Last Summer. That thing's going to tank quick. It's going to tank quick, right? I feel sorry for the Naked Gun. I kind of feel sorry for the Naked Gun. I think the Naked Gun.
I think the Naked Gun was.
I don't know, man. I'm more divided now.
It looks.
I'm more divided on the good side.
It looks funny, but I'm just like, eh.
You know what it is? They're not.
I'm gonna make sure I see Jurassic. I'm gonna make sure I see Superman. I'm gonna make sure I see Fantastic Four. Honestly, F1 is not on my priority, but I'm gonna see it. I know you did last time. I'll see it, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna do crazy. But it all remember it's a horror movie, so you don't have to go crazy with horror movies to make a profit.
But I think it's just going. I think it's going to be good. People going to see the first week because it's the nostalgia. Oh, you got two of the people from the original movie in it. But after that one, I think it's just going to start slipping down the path. Smurfs,
you might surprise you. Scream did well. When it
came out. Scream,
But the thing with Scream is that if you look at them, they were all released during the winter time, right? When the movie selections aren't that great because everything else is like some Oscar, so you put it out between December to March, you got free rent. Now, if I Know What You Last Summer was coming out then or was coming out close to Halloween, maybe my outlook is a little bit different. But in the midst of summertime, most horror movies, realistically speaking, don't really do too well during the summertime, and you would think that they should do well.
Remember what you said about Sinners coming out this early. And Sinners is definitely going to get.
That's not what. No. I didn't say it's going to make money. What I said is that what I hope happens that when Oscar nominations come for next year, that Sinners is not forgotten.
That's why they're going to do. That's why they're going to do a re-release. It's the point of winning.
In the theater, yeah. And on top of that, it ain't going to be forgotten because it's the talk of everything. Even
that's
now,
right. That's right for right now. But look what you.
The reactors and the streamers, they're not going to let you forget it.
But look what you just said. Look at what's you got 4 in the next 2 months. You got 4 really big films coming out. You very well could forget about by Sinners. And by the time November, December comes,
Oscars work, Ralph. First of all, they have to submit it to the Oscars. You think they're gonna submit Sinners and the people in the Academy gonna say, "Oh, I forgot about Sinners"? No,
they do it all the time. Did they not do that last year for Civil War? Did they not forget about Civil War last year?
Civil War is not Sinners.
And how many? Wait a minute. And how many other?
And how many? It didn't make the noise that it made.
How many other movies, if you look at the history of the Oscars, how many movies actually get nominated that come out in the earlier part of the year? It's very few. That's why they all booked it toward the end of the year.
Well, Black Panther got nominated. It came out in February.
Well, let's see. You went from Black Panther, that's true, but then you went right into Avengers Infinity War where Black Panther was in it. So guess what? You still kept him in the conscience. If Black Panther, if there was no movie,
I'm not. I don't. Nah, you reaching. Black Panther the movie.
I'm not reaching. I am not reaching.
You reaching because Infinity War is a completely different movie. Black Panther the movie was nominated. and won Oscars. It won the Oscar for the costume design.
Best costume design and
That's
a couple
right.
other things too. And I think didn't
It was nominated
Grayson win? Didn't Grayson win for the music too? For soundtrack?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It was nominated for I think it was nominated in the music category too. I don't think it won. But then he came back around with Wakanda Forever, and they won.
Which
Well, they
came
won
out in like
again.
November. Which came out like in November.
But Black Panther came out in February, so point proven. So
What's it? No,
the fact
that's
it's
no,
about what-
no. You
point
ain't
proven
proving your
because
point. That's not
it's
proving your point at
about-
all.
It is. I'm proving my point
No, it's
because
not.
it's about what the movie did. It's about the noise that it made. Black Panther was the talk of the year. That movie, right?
Yeah, that movie,
Then
yeah.
Infinity War came out, and everybody started talking about that. But no, they didn't forget Black Panther.
Listen, I you know how I know this movie was good? When I realized how good Black Panther was, when one of my clients at the office said to me, "That's not real. Black people could never live like that." And I just looked at, I'm not gonna say his name, but I just Wes. It's the same person that I was on the phone with you that day, and he interrupted me, and I had to I had to spaz, had to be had to be Black Chad. He literally said to me, it said that's impossible for Black people to ever live like that. Like what?
Right. So I mean, it's just wild. But yeah, what I'm saying is this: Sinners has made a different type of impact when it came as it's been out. Yes, of course, other movies are going to come out, and that's going to be the talk of the moment as well. But that, once again, you have to submit the movies. So once they submit, this movie is going to definitely be submitted for soundtrack. I mean, score.
Yeah.
The song by Miles Caton.
Cinematography.
The cinematography.
I guess cinematography,
costume, of course. Again, original screenplay, most
definitely. Yep. Yeah. Listen,
he's going to get that now. I mean, I don't know if he's going to get. I don't know if any of the, Michael B. Jordan will probably be submitted because he, played the two characters. He'll probably be submitted.
I got a feeling that's going to be his first Oscar. Oh, you know what?
And
you know what's
all
going to
the
be
noise when they look at. Sorry, Kevin. I'm just saying when you look at these movies, and if it's a specific movie, I don't care if it came out in an earlier part of the year. If it made a real big amount of noise,
it's going to be rememberable. That's going. It's going to be one of the moments of the year.
Or something like that. They're gonna do that.
Yeah, definitely. It's like when you go back. It's like when they like on New Year's Eve when they used to do the biggest moment when People Magazine or one of them used to do the biggest moments of whatever the year that ended. That like their last magazine would go over the biggest moments of the year. Sinners is going to be one of listen. Sinners. I watched three different talks or discussions, college discussions. Like they were discussing this movie on college campuses.
I am not disagreeing with anything you guys said. All I said was that I hope it's not forgotten.
Right.
When it comes to Oscar nominations. Right.
Yeah,
that's
I don't think it will.
Because you guys because it's so early in the year and you got so much more stuff coming down the pipeline beyond summer.
But a lot of these movies that are coming out aren't even gonna really be nominated for Oscars for the most part, except for maybe effects. And you're talking about these blockbuster movies. Is Jurassic World gonna get nominated?
I didn't say no. I didn't even say this. I said we still got a lot of movies coming, and I said, and I even said after summer when all the more critical stuff starts coming out. I don't know what's coming down the line.
I think that's what they're going to do.
But could
I think that's when they're going to do the re-release, Ralph. I think that's when they're going to do the re-release.
I would probably sit and say that's when they probably would. It'd probably be a limited run because by the time Oscar nominations come around, Sinners is going to be available on DVD. It's going to be. I think it comes to streaming next week, and it's
No,
going to
so, wait,
be.
wait a minute, it's already on streaming. I bought it. I bought it
Streaming,
when I
but
was in the hospital.
it's already on streaming, but it comes to Blu-ray with all the extras
On the
next.
22nd of July,
Oh.
right?
You know,
So
18
that's
actually.
yeah. So that's what I'm
Already
sitting and saying.
pre-ordered.
Right, that's what I'm sitting and saying. I'm just hoping that when December time come and it's time to start putting that stuff in for Oscar nominations, as much as accolades as it's getting now, remember it in December. We'll remember it, but we ain't in the Academy. You know, they have a very full line.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this much. This is their chance to get. But see, because of Trump and all of this DEI crap, I'm not to bring the politics into it, but hopefully they can push that aside and really look at the film for what it is and give it its accolades. I got a feeling it's going to be re-released for around Halloween,
And you know
and
what,
that's
Kev?
it.
You know what, Kev? Since you said that, I'm not even gonna really tell you what I'm thinking. But I was telling my friend the other day, I said, if the world go to a world, we ain't gonna make it around that long. We are not gonna make it long. But no. Look,
I don't mean to laugh, but I get what you're saying, Ralph.
No,
You don't want to put that. You don't want to put that
I don't
out
want
in
to
the
put that energy. I don't want
universe.
to put the energy out there. But real talk, real talk, y'all. But we all need to start worrying that in a couple of weeks, none of us may be here. And I'm not even kidding when I'm saying that. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I know you don't want to put that in the universe, and we pray that doesn't happen. But
I
man,
still got people over there in Germany. They're on ready alert. In the case the call come in, they're on ready alert. It's either to attack or evacuate. It's one of the two. There is no
wow.
right now. There isn't a second. There isn't a third option. It's either attack or evacuate back, bring it back to the U.S. Right? Trump is going around in his specialized jet that's designed to still fly in case of a nuclear bomb.
Listen, the outer coating of the out of both Air Force One and Air Force Two, both planes are designed to withstand EMP, because that's the first thing that happens when a nuclear bomb drops. First, you get the bright light that blinds everybody. Then you get the EMP that knocks everything out,
Then you get the wave.
You get the wave.
Yep. I saw yesterday online. A guy was
All right,
trying
well,
to
on that
tell
note,
everybody.
we need to end the show.
Wait! I want to say one thing before Wes. One thing we got. Well, I'll talk to you about it offline. We got to bring back the music show, because I watched Top Gun last night. We got to bring back our top. What was that? What would we call it? The draft, or what do we call that?
The cut tournament.
Yeah, the tournament. We got to bring back another music tournament.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too. And I'm thinking about redoing the. I feel like I want to redo, well, not redo. I want to change the music tournament for television shows, so that this time we're actually adding theme songs. No, not so much that has words, just the actual theme. Because I'm looking like there's a bunch of things that we kind of left off because it was just musical. I mean, the only one that really got through was the Taxi thing. But there's a lot of other ones that we just left off because it was just notes. But in hindsight, it might have been a mistake to not do that. And who knows? Maybe next time, Fresh Prince and Will Smith could come out on top. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying.
On that note,
on that note, we're going.
Sha-la-la.
I mean, he just might wind up.
Don't you forget about me.